My name is Michelle Malis, proud JCEA member. I'd like to say good evening, greetings to the members of the school board and also our new superintendent, Tracy Dorland. We are members of JCEA and JESPA, and we thank you for the opportunity to speak briefly tonight about the budget and money in Jeffco. After a difficult year and with all the challenges of COVID, it is reassuring that there appears to be an extremely positive financial outlook for the future. A couple of headlines put this into perspective. The Denver Post noted that although we braced for a long-lasting budget catastrophe from COVID, it hasn't happened. The head budget writer affirmed there'll be more money than bills to pay in the upcoming budgetary years, which is good news. It's a good problem to have. In fact, as Carbondale Republican Senator Bob Rankin notes, I just had a hard time dealing with having so much money, reported the Colorado Sun. And regarding the negative factor, Senator Chris Hansen added that between a couple of funding sources, we have essentially wiped out the negative factor for the next 2 fiscal years, which is truly great news and unprecedented in the recent past for our state budget.
Okay, if we look at funding for Jeffco schools, total program funding dropped from last year as a result of COVID, but is slated for a significant increase in the coming financial year, according to the governor's proposed budget. In addition, the state is receiving federal ESSER funds. The district has as can be seen on the slide, between ESSER 1, 2, and 3, the district is looking at receiving over $100 million of aid from this source. This money can be used for several years. The CDE has been clear that this can be used for salary, and it can also go to pay for other COVID-related expenses. This is an excerpt from the CDE office hour presentation on March 18th, which discusses how it is appropriate to use ESSER money for paying salaries to existing employees for reasons such as maintaining fair market value of pay to educators as compared to other educators in the region. We want to be sure that the use of these funds is carefully thought out and deliberated upon. And we are concerned about the actions that have already taken place. Rushing word out to principals to hire multiple people per building for temporary assignments without collaboration with all stakeholders, including JCEA and JESPA in the process. We urge the board and district to take the needs of current educators into account before hiring hundreds of new employees and what will be best for the long-term interests of Jeffco students. Monty?
Good evening. My name is Monty Hollander, and I'm a proud school bus driver for Jeffco. A few words now. A budget is a statement of values. A budget is a statement of values. District spending patterns show what our school board and management prioritize as more important or less important. Past spending patterns show there's room in the budget. And I want to quote from the findings and recommendations of the fact finder regarding our JESPA negotiations dated April 6, 2021, 1 month ago today. This is from the fact finder. I'm quoting him. There is no question the district has built up a substantial reserve over the years due in large part to its practice of underestimating revenue and overestimating expenses. Let me say that one more time. Underestimating revenue and overestimating expenses. The associations have the right to challenge that aspect of the district's budgeting. It is quite possible the practice of underestimating revenue endures, resulting in income in excess of a gloomy forecast and a healthier budget. If the district's revenue estimates prove to be lowball once again, it will undoubtedly face frustrated bargaining units looking for equity. Thank you.
I'm Ernest Gadivai, Treasurer of JCEA, and the next few slides show budget data sourced from the district's Comprehensive Annual Financial Report, or CAFR. This graph shows two trend lines representing the past 6 years. The orange line shows the budgeted amount for total instruction, which is the combined total of the general instruction and special education instruction budget lines, which are the lion's share of the expenses for the JCEA bargaining unit. The blue line shows the actual funding, the money that was actually spent in these categories over the years. This confirms what the fact finder described, that there has been a consistent overestimate of the cost of educators over the years. In 2020, the overestimate was $17 million. Last year, total district revenue was underestimated by over $9 million. Combining this underestimate with the total instruction underestimate from the previous slide indicates that the district had over $26 million more than they expected to have, which greatly exceeds the cost of steps for all Jeffco employees. This last year has been tremendously difficult for most educators with the demands of remote and simultaneous teaching. It would have shown true appreciation of educators if the district had instituted steps partway through the year, as was done in some other Colorado districts. This graph compares the total revenue received by the district against the money allocated to the total instruction category as described previously. All values are in 2020 dollars to account for inflation. Between 2015 and 2020, the total revenue the district has received has increased by $65 million. However, the money spent total instruction has largely been flat, with only a $1 million increase. As the district has received increasing amounts of money over the past 6 years, it does not seem to find its way to our educators.
Hey, welcome. I'm Rob Cassidy. I'm a teacher at Stanley Lake High School. And currently salaries in Jeffco lag behind many of the other districts in the region. With this said, many of the surrounding districts have agreed to significant pay increases for their employees. Westminster bumped its starting educator salary to $55,000 and agreed to a 3% COLA for the coming 2 years. Mapleton also put starting salary well above $50,000 for educators and top pay at over $110,000. Sheridan agreed to 2 steps and a 6% increase in salary for an average raise of $12,000. Gilpin gave its educators a $6,000 ongoing raise. In summary, as the Jeffco School Board considers the budget for 2021-2022 school year, we want you to keep the following factors in mind when the money is allocated so that you can make Jeffco salaries at a level that provides a living wage to all educators, is competitive with surrounding districts, and ensures that its students receive the best instruction possible. So here are the points that we want you to really glean from this. First, there's more money than was initially projected for the coming year. The district has shown a consistent pattern of overestimating cost and underestimating revenues. Money allocated to educator pay has consistently lagged behind that of many of the other categories within the budget. Other area districts have seen significant increases in pay to educators. In closing, we would like to thank you for your time and also for the commitment that you give to the students and educators of Jefferson County. Thank you.
Thank you.